At the Istanbul airport, there are a large number of people who are rushing in from across the world to look for their loved ones after this devastating earthquake. With me is Ahmet Aksoi. And Ahmet, you're in the construction business in the UK.
Yes, we're doing the construction business in the UK. We heard about this disaster, tragedy, earthquake. I left.
And you are heading to Ghaziantip because Ghaziantip is one of the worst impacted areas. And you have family there.
Yes, I've got family, and we lost four of my cousins.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And try to reach them.
I wish you all the best. And how difficult is it to get there? What is it that you are hearing?
Already I'm 3 days here. Just try to catch the flight. Or
3 days you're waiting at the airport to catch a flight?
Going to the Ghaziantip. I hope when we're going there, just try to help whatever we can do for them.
Are there any phone calls? Have you been able to be in touch with anyone?
Yes, so many of my friends from London, they're trying to contact us and they want to help. And just, we don't know what we're going to do. Anyhow, and organizing and then trying to help the people. Some friends is working here. Just trying to make organization to help the people.
And a large number of rescue workers, aid workers, volunteers from other parts of the world, family members, they're all here trying to get to Adana, Ghaziantip, some of the other impacted areas.
Kahramanmaraş
and Marash.
Hatay, Iskenderun, Islahiye,
but no seats, no
Malatya. Yes, just the person, like they're trying to take the dead who is going to help, and it's like they're organizing with the AFAD, and the civil can't go easily, but they're trying to take to the safe cities. People's trying to bring flights, and everybody's trying to do their best. We need the people's help.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is a word in Turkish and in Hindi called dosti. And this is what Turkey is actually looking for at this point of time, that people from across the world come forward and help in the worst way. India was amongst the first countries to respond to the crisis here in Turkey. Multiple teams have been dispatched from India. The National Disaster Response Force, the NDRF, they've launched multiple teams. There are some that are deployed here in Adana, others in other parts of Turkey. One C-130 aircraft has also been sent to Syria. There are other teams that are on standby to be sent once the teams come here. Now, these teams are self-dependent. They do not need even vehicles. They do not depend on Turkish authorities for any assistance, except of course to be told where they need to start working. So the Indian teams are self-reliant for 15 days. They have their own tents, they have their own food, they have a field hospital. 89 member medical team has also come in here. They've come with their vehicles, they've come with their dog squad, they've also come with other resources that may be required. Self-sufficient for the next 15 days. Other teams also on standby. We bring you this report.
But NDRF had been preparing for such deployments for the last several months actually, because we are looking for an international certification, and we had two teams partially ready at two locations, Ghaziabad 8th Battalion and Kolkata 2nd Battalion. So we picked out the best people, the equipment that we require, which is quite a long list, because when the teams move, they have to be prepared for all kinds of situations which this kind of a disaster can bring forth. And these two teams were then documentation was done in a very prompt fashion by the External Affairs Ministry. Passports, official passports made, issued, forms filled, teams collected, ration, tentage. The ethos is that when we go to a situation like this, NDRF presumes that the local administration is already under a lot of stress. So we presume that we should not be an additional stress on them, and we should need nothing from them. So the teams go prepared for a self-sustained 15-day operation. They carry their tentage, they carry their rations, so that if we are if you don't see anybody there, only one person who points out a building to us or a set of buildings, please work here, that's all we need. So in this case, we explored the possibility that whether transportation would be available when we reach, which was not very clear still. So we carried vehicles with us, 3 vehicles with the first team, which landed, left at 3 o'clock yesterday morning, landed at 11 o'clock. Second team landed at 2000 hours in the evening. A total of 7 vehicles, 101 rescuers, including 5 lady rescuers who are doing really well in the force, and they volunteered for this, and they have gone maybe as a first to an international operation, including 4 canine partners with us, 4 sniffer dogs. So these teams are already in operation.
You all must be knowing we do an annual exercise of HADR to build up our capabilities, our capacities, and our SOPs, which is very important. That's how it helps us to respond to such situations very fast. And as brought out, I think within a short time we could mobilize our resources, get everything going, apart from documentation, people, equipment, and be able to there from the time it was known to us within about 12 hours plus. So which is a very quick reaction, and also deploy at a place which is further away, flying time about 7.5 to 8 hours. So the entire planning process which has to be done for such a mission is equally important. So everybody is geared up now to react to such a situation, and that reflects the kind of synergy and the whole of government approach as was being alluded to earlier. So we had the aircraft allotted, positioned in Delhi. As soon as the equipment had come here, the first flight took off early morning at 03:00, around that time. It's not a question of day or night. Now we are available 24/7. So it took off early morning hours and it was there, landing at around, as mentioned, around 10:30, 1100 hours India time. So like that, we have done 4 C-17 flights to Turkey, and apart from that, 1 C-130 flight which has gone landed for Syria, and I think by now we have, and there's one more flight which is standing by to go shortly. As soon as the formalities are completed, it will get airborne. So if you look at it, the type of aircraft we are using, the load we are carrying, and we have put 2 medical teams in the last 2 C-17 which have gone to Turkey. It's about 100 personnel, which has got a lot of specialist medical equipment. So that helps us to help people who are there, and we in terms of whatever they need. So we are only aiding on the ground. As brought out, all these people are self-sustaining. So it helps us to make tasks simpler on the ground.